trying to get everything right before I actually go in. And basically, what I wanted to talk about was this past weekend's boxing events. It was a fun-filled day, I would say that. A lot of fights. All three boxing platforms was active: DAZN, ESPN, and Showtime. And I think they timed everything right. We've seen a couple little fiascos with timing and events not lining up correctly because you know what I mean. The guys behind the scenes were off by a minute here, off by a minute there, with trying to go up against other events at the same time. So trying to catch all the eyeballs they can. I thought they did a great job with lining events up as far as timing and everything falling in its place. The last event of the evening was obviously Top Rank. It was out in my backyard, neck of the woods, out in Glendale arena there. So that was a big event. You know what I mean? We have a big Mexican population out here. That's basically a small part of Mexico, really. So big shout out to all the Mexican fans that attended the event and everybody else that was there. I seen the traffic out that way. It wasn't nothing I wanted to be a part of. I ain't gonna lie. It was packed down there. So that being said, it was a good event. We're gonna start with the obviously the Anthony Joshua, Robert Helenius card. That card was packed. You know what I mean? We had Herkovich and undefeated McKean on that fight. It actually went longer than I thought. I thought somebody was gonna go way earlier than that. That was a good fight, tactical fight. It was Hergovich's second time against the Southpaw. You know, both guys undefeated, so a lot on the line. Number one ranking for the IBF was on the line in that fight. So neither guy was taking that many chances to really open up like that. McKean definitely was more defensive and didn't flurry as often as he probably could just to score punches, which he had done earlier fights in his career. But it was still a good fight. I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of them rapid punches by Herkovich, I was thinking like the 8th and 9th round took a bad effect on McKean. And when he got clipped with the same type of punch in the 12th, it kind of, you know, started the progress of that fight going towards the end, which the way it got stopped. And I think it was a good stoppage. But looking at them rapid punches when they were in close and Herkovich was coming all the way around the head and trying to clip the jaw, but just a punch that should be definitely taken out of boxing. Take that out your fighter's muscle. Like, to me as a trainer, you can take that out of Herkovich easy because if he's not in fights, he's doing that in sparring. That's when you stop sparring sessions. You get a cane. As soon as you see his hand going there, as a trainer, boom, pull that down. You got to do something that takes that out of a fighter's repertoire because I wouldn't say it's super dirty, but it's definitely cutting you're cutting it close. You're definitely cutting it close. And like I said earlier, I did think one or two of those shots affected McKean, and it just started kind of a downhill process for him. And he made some more rounds after that when I first seen him affected by it. But later on in the 12th, you know what I mean? He was dragging, he was slow, and he got caught with another one. And it just, like I said, it started to end for him. That being said, it was still a good fight. Herkovich pulled it out again. Another wasn't close, but it wasn't Herkovich really making a statement. He didn't make a statement against Zan. He got caught slipping against Zan. They gave it to him in that fight, Big Bang Zhang. I mean, so in this one, he definitely deserved to win. He was a little bit more offensive through the harder punches, but it wasn't an exclamation point. It's not something I'm definitely saying he's a headliner. He's some guy that he's a main event guy right now. He's not really putting that forth to the fans, the paying fans, such as myself and everybody else. So I don't know. I mean, they say he's earned it and deserved it, so you got to give him his opportunity. What is it a big fight like that? He making fight? I don't think so against him and whoever the champ may be. Let's just say Dubois, you know what I mean, gets it done. I don't think he's gonna make that fight more extraordinary because he's in it. So let's just let that go with that. Ricky Hatton, son, back at it. Young Hatton in there, 13, 14 fights in 2 years. And this is during the COVID run and everything. So big shout out to the progress he's been able to make. can't say that I've always been you know, a fan of his father's, but that, you know, they guys from over across the seas. But I respect all boxers. But what I respect is them really trying to move this guy and make sure he's going to be a future headliner. He's going to have the resume padded, a lot of victories on the resume. So when these quote unquote big fights start really falling, and they can start I think he'll have a padded resume that'll support the opportunities that he may be providing. Or big shout out to how they move and Hatton over there on the other side of the pond. Another fight I wanted to talk about from that card was obviously the two OGs going at it, Chisora, Washington. Hey, double salute to both dudes, man. Double salute to both dudes. They held up 10 strong rounds. You know, it wasn't the cleanest fight, but it wasn't sloppy, super sloppy either. It was just two dudes obviously getting tired at times, two big guys getting tired at times. So you got a little bit of the clinching and things like that. But strong punches landed by each guy. Good defense shown by Washington. Never got clipped with the kill shot. And Chisora absorbing the punishment the way he's always been doing, and finding a way to keep swinging and banging. And he eked out a victory in my estimation, maybe 1-2 rounds victory. You know what I mean? Nothing heavily lopsided, no 10-2, 8-4 type of thing. It was close, man. It was a very close fight. So it was still a good fight. I don't know if the springboard's either guy to, you know, the Fury type of situation again when he's already dusted Chisora, and that was just ugly. You know, like I said, maybe one of these guys could catch a Ruiz or something to come back over that way. You know, I mean, if Wilder can't get a dance partner, Chisora wouldn't be a bad guy to dance with, I guess. Semi-big fight, you know, U.S. against the U.K. So those things can, you know, kick up a bag late, maybe not early where, you know, you get the prepaid sort of tickets, but maybe late, get the pull-ups to see that contest. So, I mean, like I said, good, strong victory by Chisora. Not saying he's, like I said, a contender as far as a title or anything, but he's a relevant name, and he's keeping himself relevant with these good fights. Win or lose in these fights, he's putting up good fights, and that's what, you know, paying fans want to see. They want to see that good action. Even if it's sort of pub-style brawling, it's still good action to certain casuals and even hardcores that want to see the good names still active and earning a paycheck in the game that they love. So we're going to move on to the Showtime card. Nothing spectacular about this card. The names weren't big. I mean, obviously with them being in between the other two streaming platforms, other two promotions, they didn't, you know, really throw anything big out there, but they did have the Fighting Russells back on the card. And man, missed the first round. That's what I got. You got to start calling Antoine Russell Mr. First Round. 50% lose and not making it out. I'm messing with this cat, man. So I'm just saying that's a lot of respect, because he's definitely been stepping it up in the last 3 to 5 fights. So these guys not making it out the first, again, another double salute. Fighting Russells. We hearing that Gary still doing the training thing, still being the lead now that, you know, Pops is gone and everything like that. Gary taking up them roles, and he's doing a good job. I mean, he's been in the corner for his brother in the last 2 fights. His brother has performed extremely well. So big salute to him from the trainer side, and big salute to Antoine for getting it done. You know what I mean? He's a beast in there, man. Let's be serious. He's not flat. He's not sharp and slick like Gary is. He is just power, precise. Good accuracy, too. I got to admit, he's pretty accurate with his punches. Doesn't waste a lot of shots. Compact defensively. You know what I mean? Just in generally a strong dude for 140, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. He could probably push around a couple of these 147s. Let's keep it honest. He beats a Thurman. He beats a Garcia at 147, to me. That's just, I could be, you know, out of pocket saying this, but I do believe he beats a Thurman or Garcia at 147. But he's saying he's 140. He likes to stay at 140. And let's see if we can get some belts to come that way, man. I mean, PBC has a long reach. So I'm sure like a Ponce or somebody like that, they can maybe get something brewing. Prograves caught up with the Haney situation. Not sure if they can get that, but he's definitely said he called Prograves out in the past. So Maybe Prograis thinking he wasn't ready. He didn't have the steam behind his name, but right now he's definitely got some kick behind his name. So big shout out to the Fighting Russells again. The card and all, so card, that was the most that stood out to me. The main event was okay. Neither guy real flashy or splashy type of guy, so it was okay. But the major fight and the major card that obviously I've sat around for all day. I thought we might have had a mid. I thought we might have had the mid show, like in the mid. So to get some of the East Coast people to tune in, I thought the Arizona card would have been more to the early afternoon, kind of early, late evening. I mean, not late evening, but late afternoon for us, early evening for like the East Coast folks. But it didn't. We came on late, man, about 8-9 o'clock start. And the bodies was in the building. Obviously, we in the backyard, so the fans and the in-house fans was there. I'm not sure what the numbers did for ESPN, but it was a solid fight, man. A lot of historical boxes in the building. You know, it was Mexican standoff day, mano a mano, toe to toe sort of thing. And we've had classics, you know what I mean, from that side of the fence. And this was almost a modern day classic, but I don't think it was as back and forth as some of the past fights that we've seen from the Mexican competitors going at each other. Obviously, Morales and the other boys. So that being said, we won't see a repeat. They were definitely talking as if this could possibly be a trilogy towards the future in the beginning. Obviously, you know, the Bradleys and whatever the other dude name is from ESPN, they were talking as if this was a future trilogy or something. Man, that was a one-sided situation where Valdez he got outpointed. I wouldn't say he got outmanned. It's like if somebody had a 22, Tech 22, and you had a 38. Now, the Tech 22 is an accurate joint. It's not very heavy, but if you getting hit repeatedly, even if we got your ballistics on and things like that, it's going to affect you and it's going to wear you down. It's going to cause you difficulty against your strong single barrel, one shot at a time, 38, gotta reload 100 times to stay in this sort of battle. And that's what it was. It was like a Tech 22. It's an old school long nose 38. And we fight from long distance. And there's no real in close competition because the 22 not letting them get close to really get that clean shot off. And that's what it reminded me of on a gun battle style vibe. So I don't want to be too picky and say the trainers didn't do what they were supposed to do because both trainers supported their fighters. I just think that Reynoso didn't give him the right punches to throw. He has a skill shot. We know Valdez is a left hook cat, counter left hook or lead left hook. He can do damage with it. Got a lot of stoppages with that left hook. He didn't set it up. So that's your kill shot. Set it up. To me, he threw the right hand to the body successfully when he did let go. Let the left hand go to the body, bring the hand down that much lower. Even though a lot of the times the boy Neverete was punching from the waist because that's just how he punches when he combinating like that. But in between those chippy little shots that he was throwing, you gotta just lay it out, throw that uppercut, left hook to the body, get that hand down there for real. Then you can bring the left hook up upstairs. To me, that's what I'm saying. You coming in, this your orthodox stance. You coming in, double jab, bring your hand back, here come all the power. Get inside while he's throwing everything. Shoot. Get inside and just let it go. Let it go. Concentrate on that early. Get your opponent thinking about that shot. Then you can start opening things up later. They came out left hook swinging. Like, bro, you got to set the left hook up if you think it's going to get home. And a detriment to him throwing that left hook, you're throwing it against a taller dude. And this dude's leaning. You're shorter, making it that much more harder to get home. And your accuracy was terrible. Your timing was terrible for what defense that Neverete was giving back. Because defensively, Neverete is not a top-tier guy, but he just was able to slickly avoid that left hook, especially the hard, heavy ones that we were seeing coming from a mile away. So, I mean, that's my only critique of the in-match strategy, but it was a nice scrap. Valdez showed extreme heart. I don't think I've seen a boxer this year show the heart that he's shown in the ring. So he's got to get some sort of end of the year awards for just staying in there like that. Left eye or right eye jacked off. He still was letting his hands go best he could, especially in the 12th. You know what I mean? Giving the fans what they wanted to see. He didn't give us a Chavez Jr. sort of scenario where they had the cats at the arena downtown going bonkers over that pathetic show of sportsmanship, heart, class, and anything. The fans in this situation definitely got what they deserved. That I think being again the Mexican heritage was supported by the heart that was shown in the fight from Valdez because he was getting touched up, nothing heavy. And then on the flip side, you got to give Navarrete a lot of props because he hurt the hand in the 7th, kept using it, but smartly throughout the rest of the fight. You know what I mean? Throwing it just hard enough to make sure it was an honest punch, and Valdez had to respect it and kept Valdez from just putting foot on the gas and trying to run him over. That's for sure. So he threw it very intelligently. So, I mean, all in all, I thought it was a great day of boxing. Everybody that showed up, I mean, nothing really. Oh, one upset I want to, and people say it's an upset, the young boy, Trayvon Marshall, the way he went out. The guy Matisse, I believe he's a Latin boy, supposed to be a big standout from the Olympics, and he's the one that they took the fight from the skinny boy, the professor, Mike something, I forget his name, but the tall boy, he was boxing very smart. He was lankiness, he was using it. Had dude missing that right hand all night long. They stole that fight from him. That being said, the guy Matisse does have some good power. Marshall wasn't using the movement that I thought he should have been using. Like, you're fighting a shorter guy. Shorter guy needs you to stay still to get off on you. So if you stick in the jab using your length, you shouldn't be laying on those ropes the way he was, and he got caught. But that was about the only upset that I could see that happened that was real ugly that night. But again, when you got two young, undefeated up-and-comers going in it, somebody had to lose. Somebody, I guess, got exposed, and it had to be Marshall. But I guess early in your career, it's good to find out what your shortcomings is. Now, that's a bad way to find it out, but that's information you got to put in the bank, and you know what I mean? You got to use that to your advantage towards the future. But, Matisse, I believe it is. I hope I'm pronouncing that. But that was a good win. This guy leaves at 140, 147, something like that. So, might be somebody to build with far as Showtime and PBC is concerned. So we hopefully get to see him in the future again, and maybe in clean consecutive fights. Let's not give us none of that bad judging and all just because he's one of your guys. Like, that was just undeserving in that original fight that y'all introduced us to him with. And I do believe that was around COVID or right after COVID or something like that, a couple of years back. But again, he performed well on a Saturday night and he got that victory. But other than that, man, I just wanted to recap with you guys, give you guys my thoughts, and you know what I mean? I ain't see nobody able to jump in. It was an off time for me, going live at this time early in the morning. I had a couple of minutes. I wanted to definitely sit down while I could with everybody and just give my thoughts. I jumped in on the live with my guy, Andre Southgate. Had a little bit of technical jump, but I was in with him, chopping up with him about the results from the Valdez, Navarrete. One quick last thought on that one. I ain't going to lie. I'm not liking this Navarrete Stevenson build up, possible fight, major weight differential. Navarrete definitely hasn't been consistently fighting people with that type of speed and size over him. So this is not a matchup I'm clamoring for. You got to find something else for Shakur and rematch the African. That's all I can say right now. As far as what's on the table, what's a legitimate, solid fight that I think they can make happen right now is the rematch against the African boy, Nick Italia. That's the only thing I can see happening. Haney still in the issue with Prograis over the fight date because that's supposed to be a Fury night. That being said, hopefully they can figure that out because that's it's contracted. Let's make the fight happen. We got to switch the date. Prograis got to understand that from a business aspect, but. It is in that situation, but I see Haney struggling that way to consistently make that weight. Young guy, still growing. You know what I mean? So 140, he may eventually be there. Should Prograis be the splash at 140? It is for a title, so maybe that's why you're doing it. You're the champ. You can still go back, but I don't see him sustaining 135 for the next couple of years. He may have one last defense if it's the big one, like against Stevenson or something like that. Other than that, move on for Haney. So that's opening up the door for Stevenson to have to get some guys to really come up there, and that's a bad situation. Maybe he could get a Loma if it's a big fall like that. Because right now he want Loma, Shakur is, but it's nothing on the line for that. You know what I mean? Some interim type of title. It's not the strap because they haven't officially stripped Haney of any of those belts. So I mean, it's a tricky situation in boxing right now. Even 40 is tricky. 130 is tricky because you got two belts on the other side of the street. You got the hottest champ in Neverete at 130. He's the cream of the crop as far as all the champions are concerned, with the biggest name, obviously biggest draw. You got Shaq, Foster. Got let me see what this other boy name is real quick. I know I had that on the tip of my tongue the other day. Just 4 champions. You could get a little unification going on with Showtime, with PBC right now. You know what I mean? Let me get these names for y'all real quick. We got Gardena. So you do a Neverete fight before see Neverete against Stevenson. Gardena has those top rank ties. Top Rank does business on the other side of town all the time. Fury and other fighters like that. Obviously Taylor and things like that. So Joe Gardena in the Neverete possibly next spring, next summer. Neverete with Durant, give him 2-3 months or something like that. And then flip side, you got Sid tied to PBC WBA champ to take it up from the Brooklyn Bull. And then you got Foster with the WBC belt. So they can make a unified situation right there. And that kind of, again, leaves Shakur Stevenson out of the loop of getting a Neverete fight, plus with the damage to the right hand. So just not looking good for that fight, and they struggling over there to get a fight for him. I just told y'all to fight. Rematch the African boy at 135. The African boy just had a fight at 140. No, just had a fight at 135. So fight him at 135. Neither one of y'all looked as spectacular. So it's definitely rematch. The African been looking nice ever since that loss. So rematch to me. You know what I mean? Give us that on ESPN Plus Friday night. You know what I mean? Let them have a shine when there's like no boxing going on. You give Shakur Stevens type of nights where he can really get all the eyes on him type thing. So I'm just spitballing. Hopefully you guys agree or disagree. Let me know how you feel in the comment section, man. I'm going to take a few minutes with the boxing world and share my 1-2 with you guys. Y'all tell me how you feel. Hit that like, subscribe. Show the OG some love. I appreciate it. By the first vlog, I'm gone.